Well, hey, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to False Reality Check. I'm your co-host, Buffalo Rambler.
And I am Legs.
And today we have an episode kind of diving into a little deep territory. Talked about our spirituality.
Yeah, just a quick take.
Yeah.
You know, nothing too deep because I'm sure we can go much deeper than what we just discussed on this episode.
Oh, yeah. But just kind of a background on our life and the spirituality that we've kind of arrived at. And it's still growing and changing. But where we've come from and where we're going.
Yeah, and you know we do the usual intro stuff.
Weekly updates and things like that.
Yeah, but second half of the episode, that's what we get into. And we're also lining up some guests for the upcoming episodes, so that should be really exciting.
Yep.
Well, I'm excited.
I'm very excited to talk to every single one of our guests.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be fun, and some names out there. I don't want to drop anything, but you'll see. So stick with us.
Yeah, I'm just trying not to fart right now. I'm so excited.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible. I've been holding mine in too.
Okay.
Well, we hope everybody enjoys this episode
Yeah.
about our spirituality and just spirituality in general.
Yeah, and send us an email.
Definitely.
frcpodcast@protonmail.com.
Yeah. You can listen to us at Apple, Spotify, unless we get kicked off. And, we're on YouTube and all that place, Podbean. Yeah. We have a website, falserealitycheck.com.
Of course. Oh, my gosh.
You can get our RSS feed there.
falserealitycheck.com.
Yes.
Check it out.
And
that's where you can find our garage sale blog post and our you can listen to our podcast episodes on there too.
Well, you can shop for things that will help us move eventually here.
Yep.
And we can what's the other thing? Twitter.
Oh yeah. At FRC Pod. Right?
FRC Pod.
Okay.
And swanbitcoin.com/false reality check. If you're going to buy Bitcoin, you get $10 and you help the show out. You can also, if you have value, you like the show, throw a couple bucks our way on Cash App, false reality check. I'm not gonna deny it. Just say I'll take it.
Yeah.
We can also accept crypto there, I think, too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Don't be a cunt.
Don't be a cunt. And but enjoy the show.
Yes.
And
enjoy this.
Enjoy. Do we have anything else that we covered in this episode that I forgot about?
I don't think so.
Okay, I just didn't want to miss anything.
Guess you'll have to see.
Ooh. All right, everybody, enjoy the episode.
Enjoy.
Well, this almost didn't happen. We almost had a very prominent thunka 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 sound going on behind us. But we're here. We're queer.
Like cavemen?
Get used to it.
Like cavemen?
No, like banda music.
Oh.
We almost had our neighbors had all Saturday to do whatever it is they needed to do. Decided, let's do this on Sunday, right before we have to go back to work. So they decided to bring the whole family out, and I don't know what was going on, but they faced their speakers out to the street rather than back towards them. And it's a glorious few hours of this, what sounds like the same song over and over again, but it's not. It's different songs. It's just all in the same tempo with the same chords.
It's definitely a Mexican family thing to have a party on a Sunday.
Yeah.
It's just what we do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, your family does it.
It's what we do.
My family does it. I don't know why we do that. It's like, well, we got to go back to work tomorrow. All right, let's throw a party right now. Right now.
It gives a little spice to the podcast episode,
I guess.
Spice it up a little bit.
I guess
with some local color.
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
No?
Yeah, we definitely live in the I would say we lived in the better part of town until like a week ago when there was like a freaking shooting. So we don't live in the good part of town.
I mean, there's been a few shootings since we've been here.
Yeah, but I didn't pay attention. This one actually made the news, so I was like, oh my god, you know. Like all the other ones, you hear about it on Nextdoor, but the only reason I go on Nextdoor is to remind myself why I don't go on Nextdoor.
Yeah.
And this one like was not just on Nextdoor; it was like on the news, and I was like, oh shit, this is like a serious one.
Nextdoor is a terrible app.
Yeah.
The people on there are very hard to.
Yeah.
I don't know, just to think that they're real, to interact with.
It's like worse than Facebook. It's like people who have been told on Facebook, you talk too much, stop talking. And so they're like, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go on Nextdoor and I'm going to tell everybody in the neighborhood what I'm looking at. And that's what they do. They tell everybody everything of what they see, who they saw. Everybody's suspicious. Everybody's suspicious looking to these people.
Oh, yeah.
I saw this guy driving around in a van delivering packages and the van wasn't marked. I've seen that on Nextdoor.
Oh, my
And it's like, yeah, that's the Amazon guy. Like,
did you see the suspicious bird? I've seen those.
it was looking at me weird.
The suspicious bird.
But
I've seen those for sure.
But anyways, how was your week? I'm sorry to get off on the wrong foot, but I just had to bring that up.
It was another week. Went by pretty fast. Nice and hot. In
Yeah.
the blazing sun, working outside.
Yeah. And you worked out outside too.
Oh, yeah.
A couple of days.
A couple of days I worked out outside. I can't.
In a row.
I can't help myself.
Yeah.
I'm so used to it. The heat doesn't even bother me.
You're like a masochist.
I need help.
I'm in here in the air conditioning and I'm just like, and you're just outside sweating, pouring, dripping. And I'm just like, no, I'll stay in the air conditioning.
I get into this flow state whenever I work out outside.
Yeah.
And it's super hot. But in my head, it's like 70, even though it's 90 something outside.
That's kind of incredible. In a way, I wish I could zone out and do something like that. I can when I do certain things, but not working out. When working out, it's like a constant torture.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't say it's a torture.
Well, it's not
We
something
see it differently.
It's
I
not
guess.
something I enjoy doing. Like I would prefer instead of exercising to just do physical labor. Because to me, if you do a bunch of heavy like lifting or physical labor, at least you're getting something done and you're getting a workout at once. When you're doing just the workout, it feels like, I was a chubby kid. So it feels like when I would be forced into doing like the mile and I was a chubby kid and I'm like, oh man, we got to do the mile. Oh, can't we just do the half mile?
Yeah.
The half mile was so much easier, right? It was just one time.
Half mile was once a week.
Yeah.
And the mile was once a month.
Yeah. But I'd always forget and I'd fuck it up in my head. And I'd be like, all right, we're gonna do the half mile this week. And then the coach would come out, all right, we're gonna do the mile. And I'm like, God damn it, I got that wrong again. That wasn't this week. I thought that was next week.
Oh man.
And so I would I was a little chubby, so doing the mile was a lot more strenuous. They gave us plenty of time. They gave us like 12 minutes, I think, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
That's such a long time.
I remember the first time I did it though, I think I barely got under 12 minutes.
Really?
Yeah. I'm serious.
Were you at like 11:55?
I must have been at like 11:50. Yeah, 11:52, 11:53, something like that. Like right at the end there. Yeah.
Lag.
Yeah, super lag.
Freaking lagger.
And then there were, there were kids they could do it in like, 2.5 minutes or 5 minutes. They got the whole mile down. They're like done in 5 minutes. It's like, what? That's how long it usually takes me to do a half mile. But I wasn't athletically inclined, so to speak. So
It's okay.
yeah,
Not all of us can be.
I got better.
Yeah, you
But
did.
but now I like associate working out with like goals like that were put on me, and I didn't like that because when I got into high school I ran, but I ran for fun. I didn't do it
Yeah.
as part of a team.
Well, I mean, would you still run now? Probably not.
No,
You had your fill.
I've had my fill. If I did, I think I'd want to get fitted for new shoes. I don't think the shoes that we got fitted for last time, I don't think that's good for me to run with this time. So if I
You
did
can
get
for a
into it,
while.
I'd want to change. but probably not. I'd rather get back on the bike than to go run. I'll tell you that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I was outside most of the week, out in the field doing my thing, looking for the wildlifes.
Mm-hmm.
And I did come across a lovely dildo in
Ooh,
the wild.
wild dildo?
It's been a while since I've seen some random sex toy
Yeah.
in the wild. It's usually, let's see, um, what have I come across?
You've come across like
I've come
spare car part,
across,
like bumpers.
yeah, no, I meant like sex toy.
Oh, uh,
It's been dildos, and then
vibrators.
I've come across some vibrators,
Yeah.
butt plugs,
Yeah.
just randomly in the river,
Mm-hmm.
just sitting on the side.
This one was a honker though when you showed it to me. I mean, you didn't
Yeah,
bring it
I
home
had
or anything. You sent me a
no.
picture.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had to take a picture of it, of course, and send it
There was like
to Buffalo.
there was like metal in it,
It was,
like to give it
there was a
structure.
spring. There
Yeah.
was a spring built into it, so
Yeah.
this thing was hefty.
Yeah.
But what, it was like about 8 inches,
No,
and
it had to have been like 10 inches long by about
no.
no. It had to have been like 10 inches long easily by about because you got to include the balls. You don't because they had balls.
That thing was it was so bloated because it was just sitting out in the sun,
Yeah.
and it was just fat and did not look.
It was
It
black.
didn't look how it should have.
It was black.
Covered in red ants.
Ew. That's not
There
good.
was red ants all over it.
Yeah. And then there were
Oh, and
it easily was like what, 8-9 inches girthy?
yeah,
Easily.
it was so gross.
Yeah.
And then probably about 3 feet away, there was a couple of syringes.
Oh yeah.
So
Somebody had a good time.
it was it's a
You
good
know?
time out there.
Just plugging that fentanyl in your veins and go to town. Get some KY. Get to work.
So yeah, that was exciting, and it was like right at the beginning of the week. So I'm like, okay, it's gonna be a good week. Found a giant dildo right in the field. All right,
This is how we start.
gotta include that in the report.
This is how we start.
Sorry. Speaking of dildos, my company, I shouldn't say my company, the company I work for.
The company that you're a slave for.
Once again, they're updating their COVID policies. Surprise, surprise.
Goody.
It's constantly happening, everyone.
Yeah. I heard they got the Ligma variant. That's why.
Ligma, Gamma.
Yahtzee, like
Gamma.
Adam says. Adam said Yahtzee variant, I think. The backgammon variant.
So they're going to open the office again. Supposedly. We'll see how long this lasts with all these variants coming out. But they decided to update their COVID policy once again to where if we're going into the office, we're going to have to sign in now on the 5th floor. They're going to have a monitor.
That's like the executive floor, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's a monitor that's going to be there from 8 o'clock to like 5. So normal 8 to 5 hours. And you have to sign in. But before then, you have to complete an online form letting them know how you're feeling that day.
Oh
So
my
you
God.
do that, and then you go sign in, and then that person checks to make sure you completed the online form. And then you can go to your cube. But I don't go to the cube. I'm literally going in for 5 seconds
Yeah.
to pick up keys.
That's why I feel like you're exempt because you just pick up keys and you drop keys off. You don't go to your desk. You don't talk to anybody.
But
Like, what the fuck do they want from you?
Yeah, and you still have to wear your mask because of stupid California rules saying you're indoors, you need to wear masks, whether you're vaccinated or not. So
I still think that's by county though. No?
this company's following it, and we're in different county than LA.
Yeah, and actually we live in the same county as your job, but places near us, they don't necessarily require the masks.
It's definitely been up to the business.
Yeah.
And this business decided we're going to follow the rules
Wow, that's stupid.
to a T. So I don't
They
know.
really love
I don't
you
know what to
guys.
do. I don't. I depend on the work trucks heavily for travel.
Mm-hmm.
if I just start using our cars, I can expense the mileage, but I'm still...
Yeah, but the upkeep.
It's either go in, risk getting caught, because they'll definitely find out if I'm not filling out those forms now, if there's people checking it out.
When does it start? Does it start like this week?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
They're opening up tomorrow.
Oh, boy.
So it's either risk getting caught or just not go into the office anymore and just use the cars we have.
Yeah, I mean, whatever you need to do. If you don't want to go in, use the cars. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. I don't want you to have to deal with that shit. I don't use a car. So, you know, I don't drive into work. I work from home.
Yeah.
So I don't have to go anywhere.
And it's so weird because the times I go in, it's so early, no one is even in the office.
Yeah.
So even if I went to sign in, no one's going to be there.
Exactly.
To check me out.
Yeah.
But apparently I'm supposed to sign out if I don't sign in early in the morning, and when I come back, I'm still supposed to sign out. Or
how do you sign out if you never signed in?
Sign into some stupid... There's some log I still have to sign into no matter what, even if I don't check in with the person.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's a lot of keeping track of people now just to do this COVID tracing. So if someone gets sick, then they can be like, okay, this person was in the office. We better inform them. Well, guess what? It's not this corporation's responsibility to care about my health and to monitor my health.
Well, they don't care about your health, because if they did, they wouldn't make it so stressful for you. Because the number one killer is stress.
It's not their responsibility to care about my health. It's not. It's no one's responsibility.
It's yours.
It's my
yours.
Responsibility.
That's it.
Simple as that. Everyone has an individual responsibility to care for their health. It's not a company's responsibility. Corporations. It's not your freaking mom's responsibility. Well, unless you're a baby, then I guess it's your...
Yeah. I'm like, yeah. Kind of is your mom's responsibility if you're a baby.
If you're a helpless little baby.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of this attitude of the collective, putting the collective first before the individual.
I was telling you that earlier this week. That's what I was saying.
So tired of it.
That we live in a nation where in school we've learned to go with the collective, and that the collective is the most important thing, and it's so much of a lie. It's ridiculous that's used against us so that we can be corralled and controlled better. That's all it is. It has nothing to do with the collective being the best thing. If the collective is the best thing, then every time someone is not doing so well, everyone would fucking go help them. Because the collective, right? The collective would help everybody else out. But it doesn't fucking work that way.
No.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
And so we're lied to in a way, and I think it's not something that we really shake until we, kind of wake ourselves up.
Yeah. Oh, it's so frustrating. But since we're on the topic of dildos, remember that gag we saw? When we were walking our pup.
Yeah, what the fuck was that about?
Yeah, so we were out walking our dog, and this door opens we're on this residential street.
Yeah.
And this door opens, and some guy, half his body sticks out.
And there's other people walking around. It's not like we're the only people walking around.
Yeah, so he sticks half his body out of his front door.
Wearing a mask. Yeah.
And he fumbles around his mailbox trying to grab the mail. Instead of getting out like a normal human being, walking out of your front door.
He reaches halfway.
Stepping in front of your mailbox.
Top torso reaching out.
Yeah.
To grab out of the mailbox, out of, a few little letters or whatever he has in there.
But he just looks so terrified to just open the door and grab his mail.
Yeah.
It was the weirdest thing.
He was scared to get out of his house. He didn't even actually set foot on his porch. He tried to avoid getting outside.
But he was wearing a mask in his house. I think that's the most important. He was either wearing a mask because he was opening his door and he was like, oh my God, I can't breathe the outside air.
I can't breathe the same air that these people that are walking by are breathing.
Or he legit is wearing a mask in his house.
Yeah. If either way, that's a sad thing either way. Like this guy he isn't somebody that we should look at and go, oh, he's somebody we should look at and go, what the fuck is going on with you? What's wrong with you? I honestly wanted to knock on his door. Remember I said I wanted to knock on his door and just be like, dude, are you okay? Like, what the fuck's the matter with you? Are you scared or some shit?
It's not as bad outside. It's not so scary.
The sun was shining, I mean, the wind wasn't even blowing. It was like a calm day.
Yeah.
And he comes out like,
it was a weird situation. Definitely.
What the fuck? I haven't seen that anywhere in this neighborhood. And I've seen some pretty like COVID panicky people, like people that they're walking, with their masks on, and if they come across you, they'll like literally walk out in the street to avoid you.
Yeah.
And go around you.
Or they'll cross the street.
Or they'll cross the street. I've seen that. But I've never seen, I'm so scared to walk out, I have to wear a mask even just to grab the mail. It's like, what?
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Let's keep him in our thoughts.
Keep COVID man in your thoughts and prayers, people.
Yes, and we'll report if we see him again.
Yeah. He might be dead. He might have died.
No.
I'm just kidding. The next episode we're gonna be like, COVID man got COVID and he died. He's dead.
His house is now for sale. It's just like all the other houses around us.
Like Tom Hanks. I've got AIDS.
That was me.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, my legs got tore up in the backyard.
Oh yeah.
From the stupid mosquitoes.
Yeah, they love our backyard.
God, they tore up my legs. And I don't know what it is about mosquitoes these days, but when I was a kid, they never affected me like they do now. They give me these weird lesions.
Yeah.
On my leg.
Like AIDS lesions.
And I literally I looked at
That's what you called them.
I looked at Buffalo and I was like, I have AIDS. My legs have AIDS.
As we were watching Philadelphia. And Tom Hanks was claiming he had AIDS.
Yeah.
Passing out in courtrooms and shit.
Oh my God. Anyways.
That movie is something. That movie is I don't know.
It's propaganda.
It is. It was watching it, like, this is probably like my third or fourth time watching that movie my whole life, and just see it again is I'm just like, wow, there's so much fucking propaganda in this. And then like Tom Hanks is in this, of fucking course. Of course. You know who we need to talk to about that is Cheney. 'Cause she knows all about that shit. She'd break it down. She'd be like, oh, he was in this movie and he was propagating this bullshit. And Fauci was giving everybody AIDS. At the same time that movie came out. Fauci was giving everybody AIDS. I mean, wasn't he?
I think so.
Yeah, so see, there you go. I knew it.
Fact check that.
Fact check.
Take that. Take that, AI.
There's no fact checking in this show. That's stupid. There's no fact checking. The fact checkers work for like Facebook and Google and whatever. And they're gonna say whatever they want.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They're like Fauci's cousins or whatever.
They're all related.
Yeah.
They're all related.
It's like an incestuous relationship. That's why they were all at Obama's party.
Hey, screw your freedom.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. Thanks, Arnold.
Screw your freedom. The governor.
The former governor of California says, screw your freedom, people. And, yeah, I can't take him seriously because he fucked the ugly maid, you know? I just can't. I mean, not that like Maria Shriver.
Not just the fact that he's just a huge mouthpiece.
Yeah.
For the parasite class.
Yeah.
It's that he screwed the ugly maid.
Yeah. That's what bothers me the most. I don't really care about anything he says. I don't, because he's ridiculous. If you listen to anything he says,
I can't believe he was governor.
yeah, I know.
How
That's
did
kind of
this
strange.
happen?
I mean, Larry Elder might become governor. We don't fucking know. This might be a fucking repeat of the same goddamn thing, where they vote in a person who they think is going to be a Republican, and then all of a sudden, surprise, surprise, you basically get a moderate, Democrat kind of government. Basically the same shit we have now, except Gavin Newsom's just a crazy person. And that might happen again. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not going to vote, so I don't give a shit.
Oh man.
But
So yeah, the Arnold is basically saying screw your freedom
yeah,
to those who are not vaccinated.
yeah, that you need to, and you should wear masks and stuff like that too.
Oh, he said that too.
Yeah, which I'm like, okay, that doesn't make any sense, but okay.
Huh.
Like why? Go fuck the ugly maid. Like, what's the matter with you? Maria, look. Let me be honest.
Get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper.
Get to it.
Maria Shriver is by no means a looker. Can we both agree? She's a lovely semi-exoskeleton. But the maid, I mean, you've seen a picture. I know I'm not alone here. I've seen a picture of this lady.
Mm-hmm.
Not a looker. Not a looker. And to go from a Kennedy to that, it's like, not sure he was thinking there. And that alone, that lack of thinking, where I'm like, it's not like, what's that show that we used to watch where they had the sexy maid? Where the maid was like tempting the guy? What's that show?
Talking about American Horror Story?
That fucking show.
Oh my God.
Yeah, where it was like an old lady, but then the guy would see the young lady, you know? It wasn't even like a young chick maid like that, where it's like, she's like, ooh, trying to tempt him or whatever. It was like Consuela, and
Hey, to each his own.
I guess, but that lack of judgment where I'm like, what's wrong with you?
Maybe
Like
he was attracted. You don't know.
I mean, he had like an illegitimate kid with this person. Yeah. So maybe he was attracted.
Maybe she saw him for who he really was.
Or maybe
she saw his heart.
He slipped one past the net and she's like, I'm going to get this guy. And she did.
I think she saw his heart.
Below his fake pectoral muscles. Is he like Sylvester Stallone where he has the implants on his chest?
Oh my God.
As well? Because these people, everything about them's fake. Most of these people. So like even their muscles, all that shit's fake. Like Arnold.
Testosterone.
Yeah. Who knows? His story might not be real, right? Like he might not be from Austria. He might be from Germany. Maybe he was related to Hitler. I don't know.
He could be a test tube baby.
He
we
could
don't
be.
know.
Yeah. He could come from an underground bunker. Or as he would say, a bunker. Right?
Oh my God. I can't. I'm not even going to try it.
I do want to say that, as bad as he was governor, is as good as the Taliban is going to be for Afghanistan, because they just banned the COVID shot from Afghanistan, making them effectively a more effective government than even the US government, because they're banning the COVID shot because they see past the bullshit.
All this is just being done to make us crazy. We can just keep saying that over and over. Because the Taliban, in the past, they've been shown to us to be this evil force,
No, but they've also been shown to be
these terrorists.
Good. They've also been shown to be good.
No, I know.
Like right before 9/11, like
yes.
A couple years before 9/11, they were in the White House meeting with the president.
I'm talking about recent propaganda.
Oh, yeah.
And now it's like it's being shoved in our face that they're taking over.
Well, they did as of today.
Okay, so they took over.
Yeah.
And some people are going to look at it and be like, oh, this is really boiling my blood, like
Yeah.
getting super upset about it. And
All
then,
the money,
yeah,
all the lives. What
yeah.
the fuck?
And then people like me are just going to look at it and laugh. And like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it is upsetting all the money that was spent and the lives that were lost
I agree.
for this bullshit
Yeah. I agree.
war that we didn't even have to go into in the first place.
Oh, yeah.
It was just to launder money, make money.
And to ship opium into the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yep. I agree 100%. All that stuff pisses me off. However, this seems to be hastening the end of the federal government a little quicker. So part of me is like
What is this
smiling
going to do?
inside.
What's gonna be the next steps?
What do you mean? What's going to be the next steps?
What do you think the
This
former vice president?
this shows that the U.S. military is weak, that it's dying and decaying, and apparently it loves like critical race theory and wants to know what white rage is. And then if the government is trying to implement this like vaccine no travel between states thing, and they're going to, I don't know, use the military on its own civilians, the fact that I now know that the US military is a giant pussy makes me happy, because it's like, if I have to defend myself against my own people,
I'm offended.
then I'm probably going to do a pretty good job. And they're not going to do a good job, which makes me happier, because that means my freedom increases. So
I'm offended.
also,
What's wrong with pussy?
there's nothing wrong with pussy. But for every pussy, I think you need a penis. That's just my take. But unless you're a lesbian, then you need to put another pussy, and or non-binary, whatever, whatever floats your boat. But for hetero people, such as us, you need the other one to balance. But I always take like news like this when governments are in decline as a good thing, because to me that means more freedom. If the government is in decline, that means you have every right and every power to say fuck you to the government and do what you want, which I like, because I want people to be free.
Freedom.
I don't want to sing that song.
Who sings that?
I don't know. I'm not sure. It's on pharmaceutical commercials, I think.
I don't even
I just
know who
I just
sings that
imagine
song.
like a family or a guy going through a field,
Wow.
and
So my mic was all wonky. It wasn't like plugged in fully.
are you serious?
Yeah, I just fixed it.
Was it not recording you?
I think it was.
Okay.
I hope so.
I mean,
you were able to hear me.
yeah, I heard you.
Okay. So.
Uh-huh.
Anyways.
All right. Well, if all of you think I was talking to nobody this entire time, then you'll know that
Man.
it was because your mic wasn't plugged in all the way.
You're like that schizophrenic guy at our local watering hole.
Oh, that guy, that poor guy. He's yeah. We have breakfast at this place. We love this place. I'm not going to mention the name because I don't want any of you going there.
It's the watering hole.
But it's a wonderful place. We know the owners, and they're local. They live in the same city we live, not too far from us, and it's just become one of our places to hang out. They've always been very accepting, even during this whole thing.
We've probably brought it up before.
Yeah, they don't care if you wear a mask. They're really, it's up to you, whatever. They're cool people, and the food's good. I dig it. I like it. I can have lunch. I can have tea. I can, whatever.
Yeah, there's this guy that comes in once in a while, and he sits by himself. He's dirty
At the counter.
He'll sit on the counter, or sometimes they'll give him a booth.
He's not really dirty, because sometimes he comes in like all washed up and stuff.
It honestly depends, but he's just talking to himself and just having conversations, and obviously something's up.
Yeah.
But we got the story today about the poor guy, but yeah, he is a schizophrenic.
Yeah, he's a schizophrenic guy.
We were sitting there, and I was like mid-bite, And this guy's like,
Will you fuck it? You fuck. You fuck off. Fuck off. Stop fucking with me.
and the owner comes over and is like, hey, hey.
No, that wasn't the owner. That was one of the waitresses. She's like, hey.
No, that was her. She
Oh
came
no,
over.
the owner came in, but the waitress was the one that called in like right away, like, hey, you know.
Yeah, totally just shut him down. It was like, you need to take a couple breaths.
Yeah.
I know you can see these things.
Yeah.
And I know they're bothering you, but we can't see them. I can't see them.
Yeah.
I just need you to take a couple of breaths.
Yeah.
I totally just tried to calm the guy down.
It seemed to work.
I mean, it didn't bother me.
No, he wasn't bugging me.
What did you say? You were like, I wanted to go over there and be like, hey.
Yeah.
Who's
fucking with you? I'm like, tell me who it is. I'll fucking beat their ass, man. Let's go. Because, hey, we're all part of that community there. We support this business, you know? And, you know, I don't know his story. I don't care about his story, but, like, he seems like he's in pain. Like, he seems like he's suffering, you know?
Yeah.
Somebody's tormenting him.
Something.
So I'm
sure.
like, I'll beat their ass. Tell me where they're at, you know?
He can't just sit there normally
No.
by himself, which is very sad.
Yeah.
So he has to have conversations while he eats.
Yeah. But it doesn't bug me, and it doesn't just seem to bug you, and
No, but
it doesn't seem to bug most people around
when
there.
he started the cussing, I can see how people would have been bothered because there's some kids hanging out.
Yeah, I get it. People don't like their kids to hear that stuff.
Of course not.
Yeah.
So
So
some people just
don't let your kids listen to this fucking shit. Just say.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Anyways.
Poor guy.
Schizo.
Hey, he's cool. He's a cool guy. I used to work around people like that.
Yeah.
And I feel bad because there's nothing you can do. And you give him medication and it probably like makes him feel dead, you know?
Probably.
And I get not wanting to be on it, and I get self-medicating. I understand all that stuff. And I just wish there was a better way to understand those conditions than just, here, you take these pills and shut up and don't bother us. That's not the right way to approach this, you know?
Yeah.
You have to treat people like human beings.
The golden rule.
Yeah.
As the elementary school I went to.
Yeah.
Treat people the way you want to be treated.
Oh, is that what they say?
That was the golden rule.
We did not have a thing like that. I feel like they taught us to be snitches.
Oh, we had a school song, and I still remember it till this day.
Oh shit! I remember my high school song. I don't remember my
that.
elementary school. I don't think we had a song in elementary school. But I remember my high school song.
The one and only song that I remember.
The elementary school song?
Yeah,
Holy
I do not
shit.
remember middle school. I do not remember high school. I don't even think we were taught high school.
You had one though. Everybody's got a high school
song. No, we
song.
did.
Yeah.
The stupid football games, they would bust it out at the end.
Yeah. That's how I knew it.
That elementary school one was just pounded into our heads.
Damn.
It really was.
They really were working the propaganda on you. They were trying to see how good you guys would retain the shit. They're like, did we make good little parrots? That's probably
yeah, they
what it
did.
is. Yeah, if you remember it now.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, man.
So bad.
We were successful, or you were successful in doing some harvesting this week.
Oh, yes. I did harvest a tomato.
Yeah.
But
it was big.
It was pretty big, and I had a feeling it wasn't going to work out because it had this weird fungus at the bottom of it. So, but I just picked...
Of the actual tomato?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I just picked it anyways to cut it open just to see.
Yeah.
And I had a couple bites. Didn't taste too bad, but when I got to the fungus part, it was like, this doesn't taste good. This tastes like gray. So
so it tastes like store-bought tomatoes.
So I stopped. I couldn't eat it. But yeah, the sunflowers, pretty much harvested most of them. I think there's 4 remaining that we still need to take it down.
He's still in the ground, yeah.
And I think by next weekend, they will be ready to cut. So, but I did take out seeds
I
for the
know.
ones that we did
I
harvest.
saw.
So I'm going to figure out what I want to do to roast them, flavor them, you know?
Oh, the sunflower seeds?
I don't know if I should just basic salt or if I want to get crazy and do some like weird flavor on them.
I mean, do you have to get anything to do those flavors?
I have no idea.
Because the
I think
salt,
you
we
know
have
what?
salt.
I'm just going to do salt and just to start it.
Yeah.
But I think you have to brine it for a little bit and then
In water?
like salt water, yeah.
Salt water. Huh.
So we'll do that.
That's weird. You have to brine the seeds? Is that... Because that's kind of like...
I don't know if that was just like one recipe that I looked at. I'm sure there's other things you can do.
That's almost like sprouting, huh?
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, but it's in salt water. In sprouting, you would do regular water.
Exactly.
And then, so yeah, okay. That's kind of strange. I never heard of brining sunflower seeds.
But yeah, I trimmed the tomato plants and they look much better.
Yeah,
And I think they're much happier.
They were... It was like a dog. You know those dogs that they rescue from, you know, in the Sarah McLachlan commercials? In the arms of... You know that one? Those sad commercials where the dogs are shaking and they're all matted and shit? That's how the tomato plant looked. Until you trimmed it up. And now it looks way better.
It totally did.
It looked like a sad shaking dog.
Like a little Shih Tzu.
Yeah, just sitting there all... all fucked up. You know?
I'm sorry, I'm just thinking of the plant in the corner of our yard, like just shaking in the wind.
It was pretty messed up, man. It was fucked up.
Oh my god.
Then after you trimmed it and you're like, hey, I trimmed it. And I poked my head outside and I looked, I'm like, wow, that actually looks really good.
Yeah. Yeah, they look much better. I hope I didn't take too much off, but they seem to be doing a lot better, and a lot of tomatoes are coming in. They're starting to come in now.
Yeah.
And I did add some compost to the base of the tomato plants.
Of the batch that you worked on.
Yes.
Okay.
The jalapeno, the basils, and the chives that we have. So I added that. See how it works.
Okay. Maybe I'm hoping it works good on the chives because, yeah, we'll have to plant those in bunches next time.
Yeah. We'll see what happens and what we get out of these tomatoes. But I'm gonna start planning. I know I probably said this last time, but I need to start planning our fall, winter garden, and potatoes, onions. I'm gonna retry the lettuce again. I did take out the lettuce that bolted.
Mm-hmm.
I took it out yesterday, and I harvested some of the seeds.
Yeah, I saw that you took the seeds and put them in the little container thing.
So we'll have that, but I definitely want to try lettuce again, cilantro.
When it's colder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think the onions would be cool. My only fear is because, in the CSA box, we always get like an onion or two.
I know.
And so we'll have to start to maybe transition off the box.
I would like to try pumpkin.
You know what happened to the squash? I'm like, you know what happened to the squash? The squash got out of control. Pumpkin is part of the same family.
I know. I want pumpkin.
And pumpkin grows the same.
I know.
I'll tell you what. We can do the pumpkin, but you know what we need to do is we need to create like a netting fence with PVC pipes so that the vines grow through all the thing and it can just stick to that end. And then we'll just keep it trimmed so that it stays.
Lean it up against the fence.
Yeah, but with a PVC pipe kind of as a backbone. And then I have the old netting the old hockey netting that I used to use to practice my shots in the garage.
Yeah.
I could use that. We could staple it to stick it to the PVC piping and let it run through that netting so that it kind of stays up.
Okay.
We could do it even as high as the fence line so that it won't go up higher and then keep it trimmed.
It just goes over the fence line.
It'll go through. It'll wind through.
No, I'm just saying like it'll go over the fence line.
Oh my God. I hope not. No.
This.
I mean, it might because of the way it grew last time. It took over the backyard. It took over the entire, area that we even have to garden. It literally all the way under all the sunflowers. It wrapped itself all the way around our planters and tried to get into the planters. It grew up over the shades that we put on top of the planters.
This is dramatic.
This thing was ridiculous.
All right, I'll think about it.
Just
Think about it.
Just keep in mind.
I'll look at the measurements and see what we're working with.
Yeah. Yeah. And also what part of the yard will it go crazy in full sun? Because if so, can we put it in the little shady area that we have? Maybe that'll help it from going too crazy.
There shouldn't be too much sun. Time of year we're going to be moving into.
We're in California. There's a lot of sun.
But the days are going to be shorter.
Yeah, but it's not like we're in Idaho yet. That's more applicable to Idaho. In California, the days might be shorter, but you still have more sun during those times because we're closer to the equator. As you get closer to the equator, isn't that how that works?
But the chemtrails.
Yeah, I know, and the flat earth and whatever. I get it. But what I'm saying is I think we just have to keep in mind.
No, I know. I will.
Yeah.
I will. So. Dare to dream, Miss Woods. Just say that to me.
I'm not referencing that movie.
Fine.
Bonus points to those who call out who referenced that movie. Or what movie that you're referencing. I'm not gonna say it. But I know the answer. But whoever, we'll give you a shout out if you answer us in an email. Just saying.
Lovely.
You do your pumpkin. You do your thing. Maybe the cilantro will work better and won't bolt.
Yeah, I think it'll work.
Because it went crazy this time.
Yeah.
It bugs me having gone to the garden store, we went on Saturday, and to see their cilantro and there was one that was bolting. Did you notice that one?
I did.
Okay, but the other ones looked just fine. And I'm like, how the fuck did you do this? Because it's so warm. How did you keep them from bolting?
No, the way they're constantly watering their stuff. It's a pretty cool environment.
Yeah.
Where they keep their plants, and there's constant care going on.
That's true.
By the workers.
Yeah. So what you're saying is we're not as good as them.
No. No, I am not as good as Armstrong Garden Centers.
I mean,
I am an amateur. I'm learning.
Yeah. Maybe we should go to Home Depot and pick up a couple guys and just be like, hey, you can give you a case of beer and you guys just, take care of everything out here.
They don't even have to do anything. It's not like we have
that's why
giant plot.
That's why I'm like, I'll give you a case of beer.
Oh my God.
That's good enough. It's a little bit. Just a little bit of land.
They're just going to sit out there all day. They don't have to do anything.
Put the water, get rid of the weird bugs, on the plants that come and try and eat the shit out of your plants.
It's true. Oh my God.
That's why you just hire them. That's the most organic pesticide you're ever going to find. If you just hire dudes to come out, take care of it for you.
You're an organic pesticide.
Yeah. Oh, man. So what did you want to talk about today?
Wow.
I'm sure it wasn't.
What did we even talk about so far? We just talked nonsense.
No, but this is the chit chat portion. We're
Lord.
Catching up.
We're
doing our thing.
We're gonna have to cut that back a little bit, unless people like it, then we can keep it. But
it's our show.
Yeah.
Just
whatever, huh?
Go with it.
Okay.
It's fine.
I shouldn't think so much. That's my problem. I think about things.
You think all the time.
Way too heavily.
Yeah.
I have a science mind.
It's a lot of thoughts in there.
I got science in there.
I'm just like, calm down.
So, what if we just talk about growing up and our experiences with religion? I've kind of been in this weird spirituality mood lately, just trying to figure things out on where I sit in this plane.
Yeah. Is it because you were into tarot now?
Why do you have to say it like that?
Because that's how it was pronounced on King of the Hill. So I'm gonna keep saying it that way.
What's the correct pronunciation?
I don't know, tarot.
Tarot.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
But I think of
Tarot.
that fruit, that taro fruit. So that's why I say tarot, because it sounds more mystical.
Well, we can get into that a little later. I had one reading.
But is that why you're into the spiritual mode now? Because of
No, it definitely
your tarot reading?
It was not because of that. It was definitely something coming on way before.
Oh. Okay.
Way before that. But yeah, just growing up, we were kind of, well, me and you were in different versions of the cathedral.
Yeah.
That is, I guess if you want to call it mainstream religion.
Yeah.
I had the Calvary Chapel, Christian church.
Yeah.
And you had the Mormons.
Yeah, and I had the Freemasons.
And the Freemasons later in high school.
No, the Mormons are Freemasons.
No, I know, but you got that taste too.
A little bit.
Little taste of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Christianity, Calvary Chapel. It was an interesting experience from what I can remember. As a kid going into Sunday school, I always just did not like it. I was a shy kid.
Yeah.
And so being around kids that I didn't know, and like I had to see once a week, and sometimes they'd switch out. Like it was never the same kid. It wasn't like everyday school,
Oh, that's weird.
It wasn't like everyday school where you see the same kids over and over.
Yeah.
It was basically you drop your kids off for an hour while you go sit and watch the sermon, and then you go pick them up.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't like an all day thing. It was like you go and you have like a class kind of.
Yeah.
And then your parents were with the adults.
Yes.
And they were doing the main sermon.
Exactly. And then once that was done, you go pick up your kids and then you go home.
So the kids aren't in the main sermon.
You can take them in there if you want, but if you don't want to supervise them, you can just take them to the Sunday school portion. And it was separated by grade level. So you were with kids your own age. But yeah, it was just weird. Even the teachers, I don't remember them always being the same. There was one Sunday school teacher, though.
Was it like parents? Were they like parents or volunteers or whatever?
Yeah, they were just volunteers. The only one I do remember, his name was Mr. Wayne.
What?
Yeah, his name was Mr. Wayne, and I think it was like third grade when I was in third grade. And I always enjoyed going to his class. That was like the first time I actually enjoyed going to Sunday school.
Really?
Because he would test us in a way that was fun. So he would ask us questions, just Bible related, and if we got it right, he'd give us a sour ball.
Oh, is this where your weird love for sour balls comes?
Yes.
Because you can eat those like crazy.
It is because of Mr. Wayne.
Oh, man.
So but it was also kind of weird at the same time when I think about it, because he'd either throw the sour ball at you and you'd be like, yes,
Yeah.
or he'd straight up be walking and then he'd ask you a question and he's right in front of you and you get it right and he'd be like, okay. And he'll literally like pop the sour ball into your fucking mouth.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Like sometimes I'd taste his finger.
Ew.
Like it was like he'd like, okay, you got it right. And then you just pop the packaging and the sour ball would pop in your mouth.
Oh, shit.
I don't know what that was about.
I was just like, I hope that was not like a weird fetish thing.
I hope not either. But man, those sour balls were so good.
Wow.
But yeah, I loved going to Sunday school because of that.
Wow.
But every time I would go into the adult sermon, even as a kid, I remember it just being so scary.
Mm-hmm.
and just, you better live your life right.
Oh yeah.
Or when the rapture happens, you're going to be left behind.
Oh,
You don't want to be the only one in your family that's left behind.
they were prominent Kirk Cameron supporters.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Oh yeah. The whole getting left behind thing really scared the crap out of me.
Yeah.
And
Even though those you now know those writers are part of the cathedral.
oh man, it's so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that. Know that now. But back then, just as a kid, you're hearing that and you're like, oh my God, I better be a good person, because I don't want to wake up one night or one morning and be left behind and my parents are gone and it's just me by myself. And there'd be times where I'd be laying awake at night in my bed, just like freaking out that the rapture was going to happen that night.
Yeah.
And I was going to be left there.
Yeah, this is called child abuse.
'Cause
That's what this sounds like.
I don't know if anyone else has had this problem. I mean, I am sure it was my issue too, because I overanalyze things. That's just who I am. But it is kind of messed up to have that drilled into your head as a kid.
No, I agree. That's really fucked up. I guess the setting was a little bit different on church for me, because church was like an all day thing. Like we left the house.
No, this was quick, in a couple hours in the morning and you were gone.
No. So I know Calvary Chapel is actually started by an ex Catholic.
Yeah.
So they tend to make it kind of time wise very similar to how Mass works.
Yes.
It's like an hour, maybe a little bit more.
Yes.
That's usually it. For Mormon church, it's like you go, I think we went like in the morning with, everybody gets there, the whole family gets there, and the kids are broken into kind of like grade level type classes, and the adults have their own little like adult class that they go to. All the adults, like all the parents, all the adults. And I forgot what their thing is called, but for kids it's like if you're like in kindergarten or first grade, it's called like Sunbeam. And then for
Sunbeam.
yeah, and then there's like primary, and it goes on from there.
Oh,
And
a little Sunbeam.
oh, I was a Sunbeam at one time. And
My Sunbeam.
hey, I was always looking fly. I had my suit on, my tie always matched my eyes. I was on point. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
I was a good looking little Mormon.
Oh.
But I never learned a thing about Mormonism or Christianity. What I did learn was how to talk to my friends without getting the teacher mad at you. And how to sing, because part of every class is you sing. So what happens with the kids is all the kids come together into one room, and they do kind of like a, almost like a mini mass, but just for the kids. And it's not, you don't get bread or anything like that, but it's like you all come together, you sing a few songs, and then you all split your ways and you go to your classes. And the adults are all in one meeting room, and they do all that in one room. And I never learned a thing. Like they would give us like homework. I'm not even kidding you. Like they would give you like stuff to like look up in the Book of Mormon or one of the books or one of the things, and they would be like, here, yeah, and here's this coloring sheet, and do this and bring it back next Sunday. I never did a thing. I never did any of those things. My parents, like, I would bring it home and they would be like, do you want to do it? And I'd be like, no. So they never made me do it.
Yeah, I can honestly say the same thing. I never learned anything in school.
I didn't know
or Sunday school, I should say. It was literally just people babysitting you while your parents went off for a few hours.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, they didn't care if we did it or not, because it was basically that.
Yeah, and I didn't want to be there. It was just such a weird feeling. Like I didn't want to be there. I didn't know anyone. whatever.
I had an experience like you though with your Mr. Wayne. I had an experience like that. There was some I forgot their names, but it was a couple that were running one of the kids' classes, and the girl in the couple they were married obviously, but she was doing the majority of the teaching. The guy was doing the majority of, if there was like a discipline thing, he would take the kid aside and talk to him, something like that. But what he would do is he was really good at drawing like superheroes. He could draw like Marvel, DC characters, like any kind of character you could think of, like professional, a big sheet, like a really nice drawing with the authentic like colors exact, like to how it looks in the comic book. He was really good at doing it.
Wow.
And so his way to motivate us was they gave us like a little booklet of assignments. It was just like a ring with a few pages, and they're just like little note-sized assignments, like little like look up this verse and write about it and whatever. And that was the first time I actually did some like work, was because I wanted one of those drawings. He offered. He was like, if you finish all of these, I will draw whatever character you want. And I know I wasn't the only one that like went through that, because people wanted that character, So I just did the assignment just to get that. And I think I got him to do Batman for me.
Nice.
And somebody else got him to do the Flash, and he did it in a way where it looked like he was coming off the page. It was really cool.
How cool.
Yeah. So, but ask me what was in that book, what was in those assignments. I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I think I just copied it out of like the Book of Mormon or the Bible or something.
Joseph Smith is love.
Yeah, he is a Freemason. And church was about like being with your friends. It had nothing to do with like.
I didn't even have any.
Yeah.
At least you had some friends at your church.
I had a few friends.
Because you would see the same ones every week. Mm-hmm. But for me, no, it was always someone different. And whenever I got to go in with my mom, I was like, oh, thank God. Even though it was boring as hell and scary with the message that they would send.
Yeah.
I still preferred it.
You're like, I would rather be in this torturous room than to be in that babysitting room.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm sure everyone's experience with that church is different.
Yeah.
This is just my personal experience. Maybe they've changed and they've gotten better, but
yeah, we have neighbors that go to Calvary Chapel.
Yeah, and you know what? That's cool. But that was just my personal experience. The message that I got from it was just be good, or you're going to be left behind.
Yeah.
To fend for yourself.
That's so weird, man.
It scared the crap out of me, man.
That's just so weird. And you know what? Maybe I'd rather be left behind.
So it was always, and being in church and watching the adults around me and how they would interact. When the music was going, and some people would get really into it and they'd start speaking in tongues, and
oh shit, they did that at your church?
The Holy Spirit would compel them. I don't know what the term is, but speaking in tongues.
Get taken over.
Yeah, they get taken over.
Yeah.
By the Spirit, and once in a while it would happen.
Holy shit!
And I would just be like, "What is that? Like, what is that?" Like, I didn't feel that.
Yeah.
Whatever that was, that God or Spirit. Because you go to church and some people would go to seek some truth.
Yeah.
Or something to worship, something to, I don't know, to hold on to.
Yeah.
And I never
a connection.
There you go, a connection. I never felt that.
Yeah, me either.
At church. Through Christianity, I never felt that.
Yeah, me either.
And kudos to those people that do feel it. But that everyone, I didn't realize it then, but everyone has their own church.
Oh, yeah.
Like what they see as church.
or their
and
own
what they get.
type of spirituality or something.
Yeah. And this journey that we're on, I think, is so we can explore the various avenues. Not every single one is meant for certain people. Like everyone has a different view.
Yeah.
And they're going to have a different take on spirituality and what works for them. So I don't think Christianity works for me.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't because of our later experiences with spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, eventually when I was a kid, we just stopped going to church. I don't know what it was or what triggered that. But I just remember being so happy because I'm like, oh my God, Sunday mornings are free now. I'm like, well, I wonder what's on TV. Like
Nothing. Sunday morning, there's nothing on TV.
when it's fall and winter, you got football.
Yeah.
So I got to see what I was missing with football. And that was just a whole new avenue of nonsense that I walked into.
Yeah, I remember after you guys stopped going to church, you guys definitely watched way more football. Way more football and UFC.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember feeling, I guess you could say resentful towards Christianity and that whole religion because of how it made me feel and the fear that it put into me. So I kind of ventured towards the thought of there is no God.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what kind of God would put people through that?
Yeah.
You know, that's a stupid thought.
Yeah. I went through that too.
God, I'm sure a lot of us did.
Yeah.
But I think back on that mindset and I'm like, that is so dumb.
Yeah.
Like,
That was the same mindset I had of we're on a spinning rock going 1,000 miles an hour, but we don't feel it. And the water stays on somehow.
Anyways. Yeah, I lost my train of thought.
You went down the atheist path.
I did.
Yeah.
I did go down that path for a little bit because it just felt right. I was resentful and angry, and you know, it just captures all of that.
Yeah. They love to use that hate to get you to go to their side.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with like the communism and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you hate these people because they do this, you know? Here's a philosophy for you. You can glom onto this.
Yeah.
And become a real piece of shit narcissist.
I never claimed to be atheist. I was just in the mindset of, oh, nothing probably exists. It's probably just us, you know?
Yeah.
There's no higher power.
I think I did for a little bit. Like I had a little bit of a time when I read like the God Delusion and I thought Richard Dawkins was a shit. Now I think he's an idiot. I definitely think he's an idiot now with all this COVID stuff because I'm like, this guy's really, if he was a real scientist, he'd be challenging this shit. Instead, he's going along with it. And I used to see religious people as like dum-dums, you know? And like, oh, they're so, you know, they don't know. They haven't learned what I learned kind of a thing. But that's total bullshit because I didn't learn anything, you know?
No, we're always learning.
Like in school, I didn't learn anything.
Oh.
They told me what they wanted me to know. I didn't learn it.
I see.
I didn't start learning until I got out in the world and I worked and I experienced things myself. I had some failures and some successes. And then I decided if I wanted to learn about something, I better, I don't know, fucking buy a book and read about it like a normal person and just figure it out. If you want to learn about something, you can learn about it. You have this device in your pocket that costs $1,000, but for some reason it can pull anything up from around the world and you can learn about it. So instead of like draining your battery going on Reddit, you should probably use it to learn something. And it's doing that, buying books, reading, and just experiencing different things, I've learned way more than I ever have in school, way more than I ever have in church.
Yeah.
And I've gone from, doing the same thing, like you said, seeing it like maybe there is no God, to, boy, I was wrong. There's definitely something going around. There's something behind everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was such into the Matrix that I did read, but it was for school.
Yeah.
It was the textbooks and the books that they told me to read.
Yeah.
So I was well versed in that shit. But I don't know, stuff that you probably read into. It's probably what I needed to read into. But
like afterward.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
I got really into Buddhism in high school. I kind of learned a lot about that. I thought that was the philosophy. That was the shit. There was no God in it. They don't teach you about God in Buddhism. There's no like higher power.
Is it taught that you are
It's
the God?
that part of it's more of a philosophy, so it's not really a faith. So it's not like a tradition like Christianity where part of it has to be faith, This one there's a philosophy to implement in order to reach enlightenment, which is the ultimate goal, which is the end of suffering, and so that you don't come back over and over again. But part of me thinks, what if I want to come back over and over again? What if I have to come back over and over again? Like, what if that's part of my decisions? What if that's what I decided? What if I wanted to come back for forever? And then I started to realize Buddhism is just another thing to lock you into, just like Christianity, just like Islam, just like all that. So, it was easy to learn about, but it's not. And I applied it to my life for a bit, but I don't want to anymore. I don't want to take what someone else has written down and apply it to my life as though it will apply and work. That worked for that person. I kind of want to work on my own philosophy for myself. It applies to me, but it doesn't have to apply to you.
No, that's good. Yeah, I think what helped change me was definitely our first mushroom trip.
Yeah.
Because prior to that, I was such an angry person. I wasn't like a raging bitch, but
I don't even think you were particularly angry. I think you just had a different perspective.
I had certain tendencies that I don't do anymore.
Yeah.
I guess, for example, driving. I'm not as road rage as I used to be.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's no point in being that way. But, yeah, mushrooms definitely knocked the silly right out of me. Yeah, it showed me, they taught me that there is something more.
Mm-hmm.
There is a higher power out there. Whether you want to call it God or
Source. Something like that.
It exists. And I felt it. You felt it.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like if everyone feels it when you're on mushrooms or some kind of psychedelic. It gets revealed to you. And that kind of opened my eyes to change and think, oh, okay. So this atheism probably is crap. And we're all actually one and connected to this source, whatever this source is. And we should be nice to each other. Even if
that's vastly oversimplifying it, but yeah.
No, and I'm just trying to simple take of what I got from it.
Yeah.
There's so much more to a mushroom trip than that. But in terms of changing my mind on whether there's a higher power out there, it definitely contributed to that. One of many things.
Yeah, I think so too. I think the thing that you're talking about, and, to try and capture it as a description would, there's no words really that you can. It's similar to, I forgot the guy's name, but the near death experience guy.
Oh.
But you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
But he's really good with words, and he tries to describe his near death experience. And it's like Peter something, I believe. But he, the thing that he talks about in near death experiences and the thing that you experience with a psychedelic is a little bit of a mini death, because what you're doing is you're killing your ego, which is the defense kind of mechanism you have, the little wall between you and everybody around you that says, I'm protecting me, but you're not really. You're protecting an ego. It's getting dissolved when you do mushrooms. And one of the things that you tap into is, if you could call it what this source or God or whatever it is, but it is an endless abundant sea of love that is the most powerful warmth and loving experience you could ever experience, that's bigger than any love you've previously experienced before. And it's so much more powerful and vast than anyone can realize. And it's all around us all the time.
Yeah. And as soon as the trip was coming on, that is all I felt.
Yeah.
Was that immense love feeling.
Yeah.
And I just started crying.
Yeah, me too.
It was the most amazing feeling ever. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So to know that that's a real thing, and that's probably all around us 24/7 is...
It's probably what's building the universe around us.
It is.
It's literally the architecture behind the universe is love. And I don't know if it's like you call it like intelligent design. Some people try and call it, whatever. They put their own little spin on it, or they put, come up with these buzzwords. But it's something that cannot be put into words. And we'll Legs, we're going to have an episode just talking about psychedelics and like everything having to do with psychedelics, not just the trips, but, harm reduction, everything and all that kind of stuff, so that people can understand that, and we can talk about it a little bit now, but at least for me, part of my personal spirituality, there's a psychedelic involved. And not to say that, I'm not Native American, but I know that part of the Native American church is the use of peyote. Peyote is a psychedelic. It contains mescaline. And I've seen peyote ceremonies. And it seems very...
Like on video?
Yeah, like when we watched Hamilton Pharmacopoeia, he had a peyote ceremony with the native guide. And to me, when I see that, that's what church should be. When I see that, because what you're doing is you're putting yourself and you're connecting yourself to the earth and to the spirit world all at once. And that's what you should be doing when you go to church. And
but that's what church is to you. For others,
I personally didn't feel that in church. So church doesn't work for me. But that doesn't mean that church doesn't work. And I'm not saying that church doesn't work.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel that, because we were saying that earlier.
Yeah, of course.
That was not my experience. So part of my current version of spirituality for myself, my personal spirituality, is if you want to reach that feeling, that source, instead of church, maybe you need a mushroom. and let the mushroom take you to the source. And it's good to kind of give up yourself for a bit so that you can reach something higher. And I think when you take these things, you reach something higher. You reach a higher state, at least of consciousness, because you feel that love that's all around us all the time that we don't realize is there, and it reconnects you in a way, you know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we should definitely talk about psychedelics on another one. We go into that because I can go into that all day.
Oh yeah,
I love that.
there is a lot to talk about on that topic, but yeah, it was, the mushrooms were a huge eye opener, and I can honestly say I did a 180
Yeah.
after that when it came to my spirituality and not being so judgmental towards others and their choices of what works for them.
Yeah.
Because not every religion's the same.
No.
And what
Some of them
works
might
for
seem the
some,
same.
what works for some doesn't work for others.
Yeah.
But we can all agree that there is a God force,
Yeah.
something higher out there. We can all agree on that.
Yeah.
And come together on that.
Yeah. I agree for sure. I think, and let me ask you this about your experience. Was it, because this was your first experience with mushrooms, was it, I know it was very powerful during, but was the next day just as rewarding?
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, waking up the next day and everything just seems so much more clear and crisp.
Yeah.
And I was just so much more happier.
Yeah.
Just couldn't stop smiling. It was such a weird feeling, just happy to be alive.
Yeah.
Which is how we should feel every day.
Exactly.
Even without mushrooms. And I strive. It taught me that, yeah, you can be that way and it's okay. And I strive to be like that every day.
Yeah.
Because tomorrow's never promised.
Exactly.
And we need to enjoy the time that we have right now in the present.
We should all strive to be that one guy who's like 3 days sober, who is so happy to just be alive and tell you about it. You know? Nice to meet you, partner. 3 days sober. Happy to be here. Great to be alive. We should all strive to be that guy.
Oh my God.
I mean,
I think you're right.
I'm not wrong.
No, I think you're right. Yeah, just smiles are so infectious.
Yeah.
Just smiling at someone who's down can just change their world.
Yeah.
Or laugh.
It works on kids really well.
Oh yeah, it does.
Kids love to smile when a kid's looking like has like brat face, but you're a stranger and you smile at them, then they start to smile or laugh, or they hide their face, you know, they react like kids. It's very infectious. It's hard to get rid of a smile. That's why this mask thing sucks so much, because it's like, we need more smiles.
Yeah.
We don't need to cover up.
It's okay. We're not wearing them anymore.
Yeah, I don't care about them. I think with our spirituality now, I personally am trying to be a lot less judgmental of people who do go to church and that they find peace in it. We have family who they go to church a lot, different churches, Christian churches, Catholic churches. We have family that have different types of religions too. And I'm cool with that. I used to be of the mindset that like, oh, I need to tell them how it is, kind of,
Yeah, don't they know?
Don't they know what I know? Kind of. And now I'm like, do I really know what I know?
Yeah.
Because for so much of my life, I've been fucking lied to. And I've been repeating lies to other people as though they were truths. And I don't want to repeat a damn thing to anybody unless I know it's true. And I don't know what the hell is true anymore.
No.
So I ain't going to say anything to anybody. I don't want to. That's not my MO anymore.
Yeah, I think we're all on our own journey, and it's up to us to find out what is our truth.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, what do you think about developing your own personal spirituality, including practices and a philosophy, but that you personally live by? You don't have to call it a religion, but you're free to express it because by God, you're free to express any faith that you have. I mean, what do you think about that?
I think anything that's geared towards helping someone mentally and get through their day, I think it's good. Whether their practice be meditation or, for me, working out, connecting with nature.
Yeah. And you take your moments in the morning.
I do.
You have your practices. There's different things
I
that
do
you do.
have my little practices.
Yeah.
And yeah, it might not be meditation just yet, but I do have my ways of meditating.
Yeah.
Through exercise and my little readings that I do in the morning.
Yeah.
I think that's important for everyone.
Yeah.
To have something.
It's also
to have that reminder that there's a bigger force out there.
Yeah.
Looking out for us, taking care of us.
I agree. And maybe you want to explain a little bit about the reading thing, so that people understand what you're talking about, of the process behind how you decide what you read in the morning. And I think it's important. I think because everybody has a little bit of a different practice. Some people get up in the morning, they take deep breaths. Some people get up in the morning, they stretch. These are all practices of your own personal spiritual philosophy. And this is a part of your personal spiritual philosophy. So you have a book that you read from, but how do you decide what to read?
I straight up just flip through it. I'll flip through the pages like 1, 2, 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
And
just different like groups of pages, not just
like
single pages.
how you shuffle cards?
Oh, okay.
Just
okay.
like that. Just shuffle the pages.
Okay.
And wherever my thumb lands, I read that right side of the page.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll do it again for the left side of the page. And wherever my thumb lands, then I'll read the left side of the book.
Okay.
Because each page basically has a different saying or message that it wants to provide you. And it seems like the universe always provides me with what I need to read that morning.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool.
Yeah, it's been working out really strange for you.
Yeah.
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 I like that part of your personal spiritual practice because I think it puts you in the correct mindset for the day. And there are things that I'd like people to understand, that it's not, we might have grown up in religions where anything that wasn't involved in the church is looked down on as though it is evil or from the dark, path, because it doesn't lead to Christ. But that is a method of control for people. And while you can fully believe that, and if you want to believe that, that's perfectly fine. I mean, if you believe that peace is through Jesus only, then that works for you. That does not work for me, and that is not my personal belief. I feel as though we have to not look at things so black and white. Everything's kind of gray in a way. And so the things that we were told about that, where it's like, you have to pick Jesus. Jesus is the only way. Maybe for some people. For me, Jesus wasn't the way.
Yeah, and that's all I was told.
Yeah.
In what do you call it? Bible school.
Yeah.
Sunday school.
Yeah.
Jesus is the way. He's the only one.
Yep.
You know, don't look at these other religions. They don't know what they're talking about. That's
Yeah.
evil.
Don't develop your own faith. Don't develop your own religion, your own system for yourself.
Yeah.
Even though God made you in his image, which, if you think logically, in their book says God made you in his image, means you got a brain, means God probably's got a brain too, right? So God is allowed to use his brain, but you're not allowed to use yours. That doesn't make any sense. He gave you a brain for you to use it, so use it.
Yeah.
That was always my philosophy. So that was, a lot of people with these practices in the morning, the stretching, the reading,
Yeah, and the book I read from is All Endings Are Beginnings. And it's Lindsay from Rogueways.
yeah.
One of her books. It's been working out for me pretty good. I've enjoyed it a lot.
Right. But what I wanted to say is that these practices are not necessarily bad or anti-Christian. You can be a Christian and still do these things. And it might make you even a better Christian. Whatever you do, it is about the intent that you do it with. So if your intention to do something in the morning through stretching or meditating or reading or breathing, whatever it is that you do, drinking a full glass of water, whatever your thing is, then put the intention into it that you're doing it for good, for your good, and for the good of those around you. And it'll be a good thing. It will lead to good things. So much that surrounds us in this world, there's been bad put into the intention. And that's why it's such a broken world right now. And I think whatever spiritual practice you do, as long as you do good. I mean, I'm not saying, like, there's some pretty dark spiritual practices that people can do out there. I'm not saying do those things, but what I'm saying is if your intention is that for pure good and to bring light and love to the world, it's going to be a good thing.
Yeah.
So I don't think we should let these old kind of philosophies necessarily hold us back from growing spiritually and doing these kinds of personal practices. And it shouldn't hold you back. And if, Jesus is the only way, but Jesus is also love, Jesus probably loves you no matter what. So shouldn't be so hung up on it.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's people out there that think we're in a simulation and all this is fake.
Yeah, and we might be. I don't know.
You know what? Yeah. And I'm open-minded to that. I want to hear all about that.
I would be interested in hearing what anybody who believes that has to say.
Oh my gosh.
But I'm interested in a lot of different random things too.
Of course, me too.
But
I'm thankful. I'm thankful for mushrooms and for what they showed me and provided me and let me know that I don't need to be in a church to be spiritual.
Yeah.
And I can have my own little spiritual practices to feel closer to the source or God or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And it's important for all of us to have that reminder because we're all connected to it, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we're all connected to it.
No, it's true.
Even those disgusting parasite piece of shits that run this shit show.
Yeah. They're just probably on the opposite end of that connection, but they're still connected.
Yeah. Way opposite end, probably. But that love source probably still loves them.
Yeah. It never stops. It
No.
doesn't stop. It's this unbreakable love that you can't get rid of no matter what happens. It reminds me a lot of when I was learning about Judaism. One of the things that I was reading about is that, hell really isn't a thing in Judaism, and that heaven is like being close to God all the time. But there was no such thing as hell. Hell was more of like a thing where you were still in God's love, but you were a little further away from the source of where God was. And so hell didn't become a thing until Christianity was its own thing. Because in Judaism, it's not a thing. They don't have hell. And when I learned about that and I read about that, that stuck in my head, so that when we had this experience, this mushroom experience, and we felt what we felt, it was almost like, is this what heaven is like? Where you just feel like it's so much all the time.
You're just surrounded by love all the time. Yeah.
Because I'm like, wow, I could dig this. Like,
Yeah.
if this is what heaven's like, then yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, and it kind of helped with my fear of death.
Yeah.
And to realize maybe it's not as bad as we've been told.
No, that's the ultimate psyop there.
Yeah.
Is the fear of death is telling you that you must be afraid to die, and you only have one chance.
This is it.
This is it. Make it count. All of that shit's a lie.
Probably. We've been here so many times.
We've probably all been here thousands of times. We have no idea. And death ain't shit. Yeah, you could die some pretty gruesome ways, but for the most part, just think about it. Even in the most gruesome ways, you go into shock and you don't feel it anymore. Your body prevents you from really feeling the bulk of the immensity of pain that you could feel. And it just shuts down, so you don't feel it.
True.
And not only that, but there's been stories of, people almost drowning and talking about how it felt so peaceful and like a warmth was coming over them. People who starve to death discuss starving to death. They discuss it prior to their death, how the endorphins are released and you actually feel really good. And we're told a lot of this stuff to make us fearful that death is the ultimate closing of the chapter, when it's actually probably the beginning of the book. The death is the opening of the book.
The book as in the answers?
The book of life.
Yeah.
Yeah. You open it when you're dead. You don't open it when you're alive.
No.
And this whole life here, I don't want to minimize it as like, oh, it's just a test. It's not a test. It's here for you to experience fully. That's what it's here for. So that you can, because you don't take your body with you. You don't take your riches with you. You don't take your material goods with you. All you take with you is what you've gained in terms of the intangible, like your knowledge and the love. That's it. And probably, maybe some memory is retained. I'm sure once you're gone in your truest form, you probably know everything. You know all the past that you've lived and all the future you're going to live. So it's just a matter of opening yourself up to an existence that can be that expansive. And a lot of people don't like, if you prefer to have kind of a guided spirituality in the form of a religion, you tend to not want to think of things in terms like that. Or maybe you're interested in entertaining those things, but in church I was never allowed to think this way.
Yeah.
They didn't think that was a good idea. I've been told, I had mentioned like weird things like that in church sometimes, and I was told not to talk about that.
I bet.
So I stopped. I talked about it with my parents or my dad. I talked a lot about spirituality with my dad over the years, and I'm really thankful that they were pretty open about it, because they let me talk about it.
Yeah.
And I had I not had that opportunity, I might still be Mormon. Maybe I'd be going to Calvary Chapel.
Oh my God.
And I'd be dragging you to church every Sunday, telling you got to put your mask on.
Man, I don't miss that.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to drag you to church. I like our little rituals that we do together in our daily lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our Sunday rituals. I like it too.
Me too.
But yeah, I'm glad our journey, our spirituality journey has changed as we've gotten older. We've grown.
Yeah.
I think to be more considerate of others and their beliefs, and understanding that, hey, it's okay to have different beliefs.
Yeah.
But that God is real.
Yeah. For sure. There's something. There's something that binds us all together.
There. Something is there. And there's different avenues to explore it.
Definitely.
The end.
Wow. That was a beautiful dissertation. We should publish that right away.
Please. Before they make it difficult.
Before they censor it?
Yeah. Well, I guess we can give some shout outs.
Sure. Let's do that.
Let's do a couple of shout outs some emails we got. Thank you so much for those that are sending us some emails. We've been enjoying them a lot.
You're keeping us sane.
Definitely. So a gentleman that I'll call him Monkey Beaver.
That's a fantastic name.
Monkey Beaver.
Yes.
So I guess we could give some background on that.
Yeah, we'll have to, because people are going to be like, what the fuck did you just say?
I didn't know what Monkey Beaver even meant, but this guy, he does tree work.
Yes.
Okay. So tree trimming, maybe some tree removal.
Mm-hmm.
And he sent a YouTube link to a video of this guy doing work, tree trimming work. And the background is him just reading this giant poem all about arborists and what they do. And it's very clever.
It's a really good poem.
It's pretty clever.
It's pretty hilarious too.
In the middle of the poem, he's like, yeah, some monkey beaver, just call us monkey beavers. And I'm like, what the? That I think that I'm looking at this guy in the video, and he's moving around the tree like a monkey.
Yeah.
Just going from limb to limb, and then he's chopping down those limbs like a beaver.
Yeah.
Cutting that wood like a beaver. So it's like, oh, of course, a monkey beaver.
Monkey beaver. It works out perfectly.
He's a freaking monkey in a tree.
Yeah.
Cutting wood like a beaver.
I mean, it works out perfectly.
I thought it was cool.
I love that poem. I thought it was hilarious.
But yeah, thank you for sharing that video and the term monkey beaver. I love it.
Yes.
But he also provided a bunch of links to add to our website repository of red pill stories, videos, and podcast episodes that we're just trying to include.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I've gone through some of them, and of course they're dead because some of them are from YouTube, and
YouTube
nukes,
how they are. YouTube nukes everybody that's worth anything.
They like to censor.
Yeah.
But for the most part, whatever we can use, we can probably upload to the site. Oh yeah,
for sure. I'm trying to decide if I want to keep posting them as posts or if I want to actually just create a page, like a central page with all the links kind of there, with broken down into different topics.
Yeah.
I'm trying to decide. So, because right now I have it on a couple of posts.
True.
So give me some time. It takes some time to decide what's the best route, the more central route that's going to get everybody there. So if you need to quickly red pill somebody, you can do that.
But thank you, Monkey Beaver, for the links and for giving us a little insight into what you do.
Yeah.
And just what's going on in your life. Yeah. We really do like to hear what's going on in everyone else's life and talking to people that listen to us.
For sure.
Listen to the madness and connecting.
Can I say why I like Monkey Beaver the most? Besides all these other reasons that you listed, and I thought I agree with them 100%. But there's another reason why I like Monkey Beaver.
Why?
It's because they're both references to vagina. And that's fantastic because vaginas are great. Just saying.
Okay. Shout out to vaginas.
Yes. Respect your vaginas, folks.
Shout out to Monkey Beaver and shout out to tree trimmers. I have a lot of respect for you guys.
Oh, yeah.
And I've watched quite a few of you work just in my job. And I've seen them just climb up trees. Barely any rope.
Oh, yeah.
Like
one strap.
Barely any safety. And
one strap with the hooks on the feet.
yeah, they have these shoes that just have these giant blade. I don't even know what the proper term is, but they hook. You can basically walk up a tree trunk.
Yeah, they're like micro spikes, but
in.
for logging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very dangerous work, and I respect it.
For sure.
But yeah, Monkey Beaver, thank you.
For sure. We got Rob from the UK.
Yeah.
Sending us some great pics.
He's always given us some good stuff.
I'm kind of jealous of his pictures because it just looks so beautiful and green, and we have such an ugly urban area to look
I know, we have like nothing to share.
And I'm
I
just
should
like,
just share.
Damn it.
We need to share more photos of when we're out on hikes.
Yeah.
We can stick to those photos.
Yeah. I'm hoping, we can bust maybe I'll get a camera. I know I said it's my goal to get a camera before we go back to Idaho, at least so I can take better pictures, but maybe something they can do video and pictures, and we'll share more. We'll put them on the site so people can see.
Definitely.
The non-urban areas, the good nature areas that we live around.
But yeah, thank you, Rob, for the rainbows.
For sure. And I guess we should, do we want to drop any names, or we just want to? No. Keep it hush hush.
Yeah, we're working on getting some guests.
Yeah.
In the we do have some guests lined up, I should say.
Yeah.
For the near future.
Several lined up for the rest of the month into next month, I think.
Yeah.
And it'll be pretty cool to talk to. I'm excited to talk to every single one of them.
Yeah. We just want to have an open conversation.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what you believe in.
No.
We're willing to hear it out.
For sure.
I don't know.
I like that. I like connecting because it's so hard to connect to people around us that this is like my zen of connecting. This reminds me of getting together with people and just, a couple beers and having a couple laughs. And it's like that, but now you're doing it through fucking Zoom because everybody lives all over the place and all these cool people live far apart from each other. So we have to do that if we want to get to know all of these interesting people.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating how we all have unique perspectives on this false reality.
Yeah.
That we live in.
Exactly.
And both of us want to hear about it, right?
Oh yeah. I'm really interested. Man, I really want to drop some of the names, but we won't. Okay, we won't. But
if you want.
No. We'll keep it a surprise. But let's just say it's some folks that I've listened to their stuff, and I'm in the company of greatness, and I appreciate
thank you.
Of course you, baby, but also these people who are going to be talking to us on the show. I'm really excited that they're giving us the time and they're sharing a moment with us, and I look forward to hearing what they think about this crazy, weird reality that we have that's not really real.
And what their version of this reality is, how they see it.
Yeah. How far into the Matrix are we?
Oh, man.
Well, I guess we'll cap it there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you all for listening. You know where to find us. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean at False Reality Check.
You can email us
Yes.
at frcpodcast@protonmail.com.
And we are on Twitter at FRC Pod. Also, Gab and Float, False Reality Check.
And if you feel like supporting us, you can always make a donation to us on the Cash App at False Reality Check. Or if you're going to buy yourself some Bitcoin, go ahead and do it through swanbitcoin.com/false reality check, and you get $10 to buy some Bitcoin, and you help the show out. And we look forward to hearing if you've stacked any sats.
Yeah.
Reach out to us on an email.
Send us an email.
We'd love to hear from you guys.
Thanks. Thank you for listening.
Thanks for listening. We love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.